Hello and welcome to Cinema Wellman. I'm your host, David, and it's time for Cinema Wellman's second annual Shark Week. And this year, it's a Sharknado week. The Shark Week, that's why I'm dressed like Quint again. I'm usually dressed like this, but with our almost problematic love of Jaws, we thought we needed to get in on the Discovery Channel's annual iconic Shark Week celebration, which starts today. So we began our own Shark Week last year with a marathon of bad shark movies. We also screened and ranked all of those numerically headed shark movies last season, so we're no stranger to bad shark movies, which brings us to today. By now you probably know that I have a database of every film I've ever seen that I started putting together when I was a freshman in college. One of the basic rules of the archives, also known as I am David B, is if it's not in the archives, I didn't see it. When I had the idea of doing an episode about the Sharknado series, I wanted to check my database to see which ones I missed, if any. Believe it or not, there are 6 Sharknado movies, and lo and behold, none of them were there. I had officially seen 0 Sharknado movies, and that's when I decided that this is going to be, it was going to be this year's Shark Week project. My first thought was to do a Which Was Worse episode like I did with the numerically numbered headed shark series. But I knew that all of these are bad on some level, and we also know they were all made while winking and keeping tongues firmly in cheeks. Today we are here to celebrate the absurdity of the Sharknado series as opposed to bringing it down. Everyone involved knew exactly what they were involved in, which is one of the things that makes them enjoyable to watch on a certain level. We came up with a Sharknado score sheet, as Hannah told me we love a score sheet, that we filled out while watching, and we'll be sharing the following with you for each of the 6 movies. We'll give you quotable quotes, favorite lines of ridiculous dialogue, many taken directly from some of your favorite movies. Shameless, it is. Number 2, most preposterous moment, or the MPM, as it were. And believe me, there will be many to choose from. And 3, we'll also award Cinema Wellman's 3 stars, a la an NHL game, as we highlight 3 actors and actresses who picked up a check to be in one of these. And there are more than 3 to mention for each movie, so I'll run down that roster for all 6 movies for you as well. We were planning on a standout death category, but it turns out the sharks don't have too many methods of killing you, especially when flying around in a Sharknado. They like to land straight on your head and kill you that way. Every once in a while, they'll slit your throat, take your head off with a flick of their tail. They're so good at decapitating people, and you wouldn't think that. One shark did legit slurp someone up like spaghetti, which I really don't think is possible in any way, shape, or form, but it was fun to watch. And in case you were wondering, you can have a tornado on the ocean, and it's called a waterspout. A waterspout, however, does not carry metric tons of sharks. The Sharknado movies will not be ranked in any way and will be presented chronologically. There are 6 of them, all with the same director, and they were churned out one a year from 2013 to 2018, which we applaud. In for a penny, in for a pound. You got to commit to the bit. Here we go. 2013's Sharknado. Unrated, 86 minutes, IMDb 3.3. And this and all 6 of the Sharknado movies were directed by Anthony C. Ferrante. And hats off. IMDb tells us when a freak hurricane swamps Los Angeles, nature's deadliest killer rules sea, land, and air as thousands of sharks terrorize the waterlogged populace. Hoopla adds, against all logic and the laws of nature, a monstrous storm devastates Los Angeles, leaving the streets flooded and infested with sharks. Picking up a check roster, note, we will not be including stars Ian Ziering and Tara Reid in any of these lists because they're regulars. They're in all of them. Each movie's roster will contain names of mostly B and C list celebrities who are picking up a check and enjoying every minute of it, or so it appears. They really didn't start loading up the cast until later films in the series. So for this one, I'll just mention that both Lindsay Lohan and Steve Guttenberg turned this movie down. Quotable quote, "We're going to need a bigger chopper." Buckle your seatbelts. They love Jaws. MPM, or most preposterous moment, has to be the iconic scene of Ian Ziering's character being swallowed by a flying shark and then him cutting his way out of the shark with a chainsaw. 3 stars. Number 3, Julie McCullough. Julie Costello from Growing Pains. So this is two consecutive episodes that we mentioned somebody from Growing Pains. And I don't recall seeing her at all in the movie. Number 2, John Hurd is in this. He's a serious actor. And he plays like a barfly at Ian Ziering's bar. And when they're evacuating, he's running with his stool over his head. It's just... And the number one star, Robbie Rist, shows up as a bus driver. You may not know his name. Robbie Rist was Cousin Oliver on the OG Brady Bunch TV show. His band, Quint, wink wink, wrote and performed the music in this and the other movies in the series, including the Sharknado theme. And we get Wayne Newton sings it later. I'm not making any of this stuff up. Ian Ziering's character is named Finn, and that makes me extremely happy. The hurricane spawning these Sharknados is Hurricane David, which also makes me happy. There are at least 5 Jaws references, including a shark landing right near Steven Spielberg's footprints at Grauman's Theater. This was shot in 18 days, but I bet you it was in post for 10 times that. Features a rolling Ferris wheel, which I support. There's also a car chase in this movie. Why is a car chase needed in a movie about shark-filled tornadoes? Next up is the very appropriately named Sharknado 2, the second one. From 2014, unrated, 95 minutes, IMDb 4.0. IMDb. Finn and April are on their way to New York City until a Category 7 hurricane spawns heavy rain, storm surges, and deadly Sharknados. Hoopla adds, no vehicle, building, or national monument is safe from destruction. Picking up a check, Robert Hayes, as a pilot, on a plane with the same flight number as an airplane. Judd Hirsch, driving a taxi. Billy Ray Cyrus, Downtown Julie Brown, Andy Dick, Richard Kind, Vivica A. Fox, Matt Leonard, and Jared from Subway. Seems like they should be grouped together. And Peppa. Quotable quote, these sharks will be coming down at over 2 inches an hour. The MPM. To combat the Sharknado, a New Yorker employing fast and furious physics starts up several chainsaws and just hurls them into the Sharknado. 3 stars. Number 3, Richard Kind as a former New York Met at Citi Field hitting a shark with a bat and having it fly into the scoreboard, and the apple rises in center field. Number 2, Peppa. Number 1, Will Wheaton as an uncredited dead passenger on an airplane. At one point, the disembodied head of the Statue of Liberty is rolling down the avenue at full force for no reason at all. Tara loses a hand in this one, so get ready for Captain Ahab, Luke Skywalker, and Enter the Dragon references. Not to mention 4 more Jaws references in this one. Oh, Mark McGrath cannot act, in case you were wondering. And one more line. I can't resist. They're sharks. They're scary. No one wants to be eaten. Next, from 2015, Sharknado 3, oh hell no. Unrated, 93 minutes, IMDb 4.1. IMDb, a monstrous tornado unleashes ravenous sharks from Washington, D.C. all the way down to Orlando, Florida. Picking up a check, Mark Cuban as the president, Frankie Muniz, David Hasselhoff, Bo Derek, Michael Winslow, Chris Jericho, Jerry Springer, who is killed when the Jaws model at Universal, the one that hangs upside down and people pose with, ends up being a real shark and eats him. Penn and Teller, and Kim Richards. Kim Richards, the little girl who gets shot at the ice cream truck in Assault on Precinct 13 is in this. Quotable quote, Finn and April discussing the plausibility of sharks in space. How can they survive in space? How can they survive in a tornado? NPM. This may take a bit to set up. let's begin with the fact that Tara's character, April, is pregnant in this movie. Finn and April got swallowed by a giant sharks in space. Bear with me. As the sharks plummet to Earth, they manage to cut slits into the backs of the sharks and deploy those space capsule parachutes out of the sharks, and they float gently towards the Earth. Finn cuts himself out of his shark, and then Tara's shark is cut open from the inside, and she hands Finn the baby. Tara delivered the baby while inside a shark that was plummeting to Earth from outer space. And then she got dressed again. She could do it all. I mean, we can stop here, right? I mean, 3 stars. Number 3, President Mark Cuban. Number 2, Frankie Muniz, who loses all 4 limbs to 4 different sharks. And number 1, Kim Richards as Babs Jensen, which is sweet because Babs Jensen is the name of one of the characters in National Lampoon's Animal House. And I'm starting to believe that everything in the universe is connected by the Sharknado series. And Kim Richards, 2 consecutive episodes of Cinema Wellman. Growing Pains, Kim Richards. We love you, Kim Richards. 007 open in this one, which I applaud. Sharks caused the big one at the Daytona 500 and kill Brad Keselowski, which I also applaud. Washington, D.C.'s monuments, they crumble pretty easily. I wasn't expecting that. And a giant shark lands in Lincoln's lap at the memorial. Mark McGrath, brought him back, and Vice President Ann Coulter, barf, boogie boarding down shark-infested stairs on portraits of Washington and Lincoln. And that wasn't this movie's most preposterous moment. Just think about that for a minute. It was only a matter of time, but we now have a chainsaw with 2 blades. We have sharks in space, and that really doesn't seem to be problematic for this series at all. And poor sharks, it's not their fault, really. And 6 more blatant Jaws references, those were somebody's fault. One more line. Every shark in the world must be flying around up there. I actually had that thought as well. Next, from 2016, Sharknado 4, The Fourth Awakens, unrated, 95 minutes, IMDb 3.9. IMDb, Finn, his family, and the cosmos had been blissfully Sharknado-free in 5 years since the most recent attack, but now sharks and tornadoes are being whipped up in unexpected ways and places. Picking up a check, supermodels Cheryl Tiegs and Susan Anton. Gary Busey, Stacey Dash, that bounty hunter guy, David Faustino, Donna Mills, Wayne Newton singing the Sharknado theme song in a casino, Carrot Top, my friend Jay loves Carrot Top, Adrian Zmed, Vince Neil, Gil Gottfried as newsman Ron McDonald. I went to high school with a guy named Ronald McDonald. I'm not making that up. The entire cast of the Today Show and Steve Guttenberg again, who gives them the car Christine from the movie Christine, the haunted car at one point. And I don't know why. And it is Christine. Quotable quote, "May the force be with you. I'll be back. And come with me if you want to live." Like I said, shameless borrowing. The MPM. Gary Busey plays Tara Reid's character, mad scientist dad. And he's taken her and he's made her into kind of a Swiss Army April. She has a lightsaber attachment for her hand, and she can fly. So Tara Reid now has flight capability. 3 stars. Number 3. For someone who turned this series down, Steve Guttenberg sure is in a lot of them. Number 2. Gary Busey as a mad scientist. And number 1, I know I said I wasn't going to include Ian Ziering or Tara Reid in any of these 3 stars things, but didn't you hear me when I told you that Tara can fly? This one had a Star Wars open, but you'd figure that since, the 4th is being awakened in this one. Along with Star Wars, there are several Wizard of Oz references and what took them so long, and a network reference. There's a shark-themed hotel in Las Vegas, and there's nothing that can go wrong with that. The opening credits are 20 minutes into this movie like there's some kind of art film. You're only 95 minutes long. So many landmarks were destroyed in this one, I should have been keeping track of that. The destruction shouldn't be a surprise, since this film features not only a Sharknado, but a Hail-Nado, lightning Nado, lava Nado, and a cow Nado that also had sharks in it, and the sharks were eating the cows. Sharks got to eat. People skydive while in a Sharknado. Finn is unconscious, and they use two small sharks, one in either of Tara's hands, and they defibrillate him. Science! Two little sharks. One more line. We haven't had a Sharknado in 5 years. That's what worries me. Next, from 2017, Sharknado 5. Global Swarming. Unrated, 93 minutes, IMDb 3.8. IMDb, with much of America lying in ruins, the rest of the world braces for a global Sharknado, and Finn and his family must travel around the world to stop them. Picking up a check, Chris Kattan as the British Prime Minister, Charo, Coochie Coochie, as the Queen of England, Nichelle Uhura Nichols, Geraldo Rivera, Tony Hawk skateboarding on the roof of the Sydney Opera House, Bret Michaels, David Naughton, Olivia Newton-John, Dolph Lundgren playing Finn and April's son Gil, wink wink, from the future. Downtown Julie Brown again. And Fabio as the Pope. Quotable quote. The storm is now sucking up lions and gazelles. Now there's sharks chasing the lions, chasing the gazelles. It's a safari Nado. NPM. I believe I saw April and Finn in a car in the palm of the hand of the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro. In a Sharknado. 3 stars. Toss up. Pope Fabio, Queen Charo. Coochie Coochie. And I bless you. Number 2, David Naughton. He plays David. That's David Kessler from An American Werewolf in London. He plays Ambassador Kessler, who gets bit on the hand by a small shark, and then he stares at it in horror, mimicking his iconic transformation scene from An American Werewolf in London. How can you hate these movies when the people who made them love movies so much? Number 1 star, Bret Michaels, lead singer of Poison, hit by a double-decker bus in London, then says, I'm all right, and then straight up doofs it in an homage to Mad Max Fury Road, playing his guitar and slaying sharks while attached to the front of the damn bus. Actual cast of Today shows from around the globe. I researched it. There are Today shows all around the globe. So many people asked Danet in this one. That's always a joy. I love how many people are able to survive inside one of these things. At the end of this one, everyone's dead, and Finn is a bindle stiff. I think that's the first episode of Cinema Wellman that I got to use the word bindle stiff, and I'm very happy about that. One more line. That's a damn Sharknado without the Nado. Next, 2018, the last Sharknado, It's About Time. Unrated, 86 minutes, IMDb 3.6. IMDb says, Finn has to go back in time to rejoin his shark-battling friends to stop the first Sharknado and save humanity. Picking up a check, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, Tori Spelling, Christopher Peter Brady Knight, Bernie Love Boat Capel, and Daryl Hammond from Saturday Night Live. Quotable quote, it's a time-nado. Let's do the time warp again. NPM, the decapitated head of a robotic Tara Reid in a flying shark's mouth, shooting lasers out of her eyes into a Sharknado. 3 stars. Number 3, James David Lopan Hong as Confucius. Number 2, Daryl Hammond as George Washington, straight up doing his Bill Clinton. No notes on that. And a number 1 star from this film. To reiterate, I know I said I wasn't going to include Ian Ziering or Tara Reid in any of these 3 stars things, but didn't you hear me when I just told you about Tara Reid's decapitated head in a flying shark's mouth, shooting lasers out of her eyes into a Sharknado? I mean, I just said it. The plan for this one is to go back in time and destroy the OG Sharknado. All future female humans look like Tara Reid, which is an interesting take on our future. The very end features an homage to that OG Shark video game, that old arcade game, which reminded me that the people who made these films knew exactly what they were doing from the start. One more line and one final Jaws reference. Finn says, "I'm going to need a bigger chainsaw." Well, that's a wrap from here at Cinema Wellman for our second annual Shark Week episode. And we hope you enjoyed Discovery Channel's Shark Week, if that's your bag, baby, which starts today. We spent 9.1 hours watching sharks kill well over 118 people. That's when we kind of stopped counting. In 6 movies that averaged 3.8 on IMDb. So you didn't have to. The smell while cleaning up after one of those Sharknados must be absolutely horrific. Well, we hope you're with us next time when I'll have an in-studio guest with me to break down 7 different movies based on the same Agatha Christie book we just finished for book club. Join us to see if the butler did it. Until then, take care.